The downward spiral into chaos continues in Haiti. Even with foreign assistance, authorities have failed to gain control over the country's ever more powerful criminal gangs. As medical aid workers leave over security concerns, more Haitians are taking matters into their own hands. But can anything bring peace to this crime-ravaged country? I'm Andrea Sankey, and today's Newsmaker is Haiti. Well, life has never been easy in Haiti, but recently the level of political instability alongside appalling gang violence has hit new highs. It was hoped a transitional government and a multinational support mission boosted by foreign police forces could help, but it hasn't. Instead, 4 transitional prime ministers have taken office since President Jovenel Moïse was assassinated 3 years ago, while gangs have taken over most of the capital and displaced over 700,000 people. Here's a closer look now at the state of Haiti.
The crisis in Haiti goes from anarchic to cataclysmic. The gangs controlling 80% of the capital Port-au-Prince are gaining ground. In the last week alone, at least 150 people have been killed and 20,000 displaced. Last Monday, police and civilian self-defense groups killed 28 alleged gang members who attempted to attack a wealthy suburb of the capital. Vigilante groups then set their bodies on fire in the street.
Any gang that tries to storm Pétionville will lose their skin. We are determined to preserve the security of our city.
They're taking justice into their own hands, while the police and the multinational security mission are failing to establish order. That UN-backed mission is severely understaffed and underfunded, with 400 Kenyan officers and just 32 from Jamaica, the Bahamas and Belize. On Wednesday, the UN Security Council discussed a US-led campaign to transform the force into a peacekeeping mission. But China and Russia objected to the proposal, saying there is no peace to keep in Haiti.
Either the international community provides substantial support, or it allows the country to sink further, with consequences that will extend far beyond our borders.
And the recent political crisis has only exacerbated the situation. The country's Transitional Council sacked the interim Prime Minister Garry Conille and replaced him with businessman Alex Didier Fils-Aime. Conille was at odds with the 9-member council over a corruption scandal against 3 of its members. They were accused of demanding $750,000 worth of bribes from a government-owned bank director to secure his job. Conille demanded they be removed, but instead those same members were among those on the council who voted to remove Conille. His successor, Fils-Aime, vows to hold a transparent election and restore security, but it won't come until 2026.
We are reminding all Haitians, men and women, from the country within and from abroad, business people, big and small. The duty of the government is to organize elections that will not be contested. Everybody has to help.
Yet there's no clear path to order, and people's suffering is only growing. Violence has displaced more than 700,000 people, half of them children. Gangs are using kidnapping and sexual violence to spread fear. Half the country is struggling to find food, in what the UN describes as the worst hunger crisis in the Western Hemisphere. And the violence is also disrupting humanitarian work. This week, Médecins Sans Frontières halted its operations, following a series of attacks and threats to its staff by police and vigilantes, a further blow for desperate Haitians.
We have very critical situations on the ground. We have increasing and very steep humanitarian needs. This is already people who live, many populations who live under very, very tough living conditions. So again, our plea for solidarity with Haiti during this very dire moment.
That plea has yet to be heard. With political infighting and gangs running the show, Haitians are caught in what looks like a never-ending cycle of violence and instability.
So as the situation continues to spiral downward, arguably no one is more affected than those already stricken by poverty and in need of medical care. Médecins Sans Frontières, or MSF, has been working in Haiti for decades, but has suspended its operations in Port-au-Prince over a lack of security. Joining me now to tell us more is from Port-au-Prince, MSF, head of mission in Haiti, Christophe Garnier. Christophe, thanks so much for being with us. This wasn't an easy decision for MSF after, 30 years in the country. So first, tell us what happened to your employees in Port-au-Prince and why it was decided to actually suspend your operations.
As you said, we are in Haiti since more than 30 years, and recently we faced a very difficult issue when our staff on 11th of November has been directly threatened and has been directly aggressed by police member, and some of our patients in our ambulance were killed just near a hospital, a public hospital. And after this event, like for 4 times since the 11th of November, we received direct threats from police people, not the institution, but really police members, part of it. And for us, it's a red line we crossed because we have to be sure we can secure our activity, but we also have to be sure we can secure all MSF members. That is around 1,500 people working here for us. So yes, it's a very difficult decision to make, but we made this decision of suspensions. That means we are not taking any new admission, but we continue to take care of the patients that were admitted before to avoid having the one too much incident and to stop everything.
Right. Now, it's important to stress, you've said these were the police that attacked, not the gangs. These are actually the security forces that are supposed to be bringing stability to Haiti at present. I mean, do you know if these were rogue members of the police forces, or is there a deep problem with the entire institution?
There is no problem with the entire institution. We have a good relation with them, and they are working hard to support us to find some solutions together. It's only part members of this institution, and it's very difficult for us to recognize exactly who they are. There is a lot of different factions, so we don't know exactly.
Okay, and tell us what else is happening, to your workers and other humanitarian and aid workers throughout Haiti. I've heard even your ambulances have been attacked.
Our ambulance were attacked while we were carrying 3 wanted people. They were shooted and they were in need of trauma care very urgently. And our ambulance were stopped by police members. And at the end, they sent some gas in our cars to force our staff to go out after threatening to burn everything with our staff inside, after threatening to rape one of them. And they took the 3 patients and they beaten them and they took them away and killed them. That's we hear the shooting. We haven't seen the shooting ourselves, but we could hear. Today after, we know that the youngest one succeeded to escape or was released, but the 2 other, we are, let's say, 95% sure they were killed. One of them was a student and one of them had his communal membership. So they were just civilians.
I don't even have the words to describe how horrifying it must be to do this work on the ground. But I have to ask you, because of your experience in other countries as well, how does Haiti compare, logistically, for example, when it comes to distributing humanitarian aid and treating people in need? You've worked in Yemen, for example. It's a country engaged in a brutal civil war. Is Haiti at least any better than that, or no?
Haiti is an amazing country with amazing people. We have the most beautiful stuff we could hope. But from one minute to another, everything can change. And we can reach a very high level of violence very, very quickly. And this is what is difficult for us. I mean, we're here to take care of people. We are not fighters. We are medicals. So Haiti can be absolutely like a little paradise because people are wonderful. But at what point sometimes, and it's difficult to understand why, we reach very high level of violence. But this violence can stop as well from a minute to another. And this is where it's very difficult for us.
So now, in response to what's just happened to you and suspending your operations, MSF is asking for more security guarantees before you can return to full work. Whom exactly are you appealing to, and do you think you'll get those guarantees?
We are asking the head of the PNH, I mean the National Police of Haiti, and the head of the government to come public to say that MSF is a medical institution, neutral, impartial, and that we need to work everywhere. I mean, medical institutions, sorry, in Haiti, it's only 30% that are working today. MSF is covering a very large range of medical care. And that's why we need some guarantee, public guarantee that yes, MSF is welcome to work as a neutral and impartial organization.
Okay, Christophe, we will leave it there for now for this one-on-one interview, but do of course stay with us because I'd like you to join our panel in just a few seconds' time.
Thank you very much.
Let's broaden out the discussion now and welcome two more panelists. From Fort Myers, Florida, independent consultant and former Haiti-based aid worker, Judes Jonathas, and from New York, editor at Haiti Liberte newspaper, Ives. Thanks all so much for being with me. Kim, I'll start with you. Is this a new low for Haiti as far as the fight against gang violence is concerned? To see them now in control of this much territory, I mean, almost the entire capital now.
Well, I mean, it's being portrayed as gang violence and the problem. But to me, the problem is the system of Haiti, which has been oppressing, exploiting, crushing the people for decades now. And this is just the response of the poor neighborhoods. These armed groups are finally rising up against an absolutely infernal reality that they can no longer deal with, that people can't survive. And so this is a revolution in our eyes, and it's essentially a cry of the poor to change their situation and not keep suffering from coups d'etats and interventions and ruthless exploitation.
But a revolution to what end, Kim? Because many have described this as just an endless cycle of violence.
No, to take control of their country. That is, Haiti has been a neo-colony of the US, France, and Canada, most particularly the US, since 1915, when US Marines invaded. And when they elected their own president in 1990, they immediately was coup d'etat by Washington. It happened again in 2000, and now they're taking it to the next level. That's what's going on, and it's not the people that are to blame. It's the people who are standing on their neck with their boot.
Okay, let me ask Jude if you think that is true.
Yes, it's the consequences of multi-years of bad governance, corruption, impunity. So because the state didn't respond to the situation of the population and they did really take good decision when things happen. I work in most of this area in Port-au-Prince where we have a lot of gang, and exactly the state was absolutely not present, and it's exactly the consequences of bad governance and impunity, corruption for the last past years.
Well, then what, in your opinion, Jude, could happen to change it? If the government equation, the corruption in the government is taken out, what do you have left? Because now so much of the civilian society is entwined with the gangs. They are all armed. The violence is building on more violence. How does it stop?
First of all, now we have to fight against this violence, but it's not the real problem. We have to fight the root causes of this violence. and we have to take care of the population, the well-being of the population, make a better sharing in terms of resources in the country, and add a good governance, especially what we talk about the corruption political situation and the what we have in terms of impunity, what we have in terms of governance, and it's exactly the roots of the consequences what we have now. If we fight only against the violence, I think years later we will have the same situation. So we have to really address the roots of causes of the situation. But especially most of the time we have the same situation. Maybe we can have 1 year, 2 years of peace. After that, we come exactly in the same. And now it's worse. It really worse. And I in this post world of the our country, now is the time to really have a complete support to fight against the violence and have a better for the millions of people of
Okay.
Haiti.
Okay. So let me direct that to Kim then, because when you're hearing members of the government say, telling civilians to join them in the fight against gangs, what are they actually expecting the civilian population to do?
Well, you have to realize this political class is completely despised and I could say useless because none of them have been elected. There's no elected official in Haiti. They've simply been appointed by Secretary of State Anthony Blinken to run the country. He took the entire dysfunctional political class, put them together as a presidential council, and they're just fighting among each other and kicking out the prime ministers that were either foisted upon them or selected. So they're desperate and they're appealing for people to help them. But the fact is, these conditions are so severe in the country, and this is just the people asking for very simple things. They want hospitals, schools, roads, sanitation, electricity, internet, basics of life, water. They don't have this even when there isn't the fighting, and so as a result, this is essentially the same motivator that we see in revolutions throughout history. The Bolsheviks fought for land, peace, and bread.
Okay.
This is the same process going on.
Jude, I mean, would you agree there? I mean, again, that Kim is basically saying nobody trusts at all the political class, but still we saw Garry Conille, who accused members of the government council of corruption, suddenly be deposed by businessman Alex Didier-Fils, who's now replacing him and vowing to hold this transparent election. Do people trust either one of those people?
Definitely not. Definitely not. And we have a lot of experiences with the politician, and as you say, or you can ask people, the civilian, to fight against violence, to fight against gang leaders. It's a situation you can't imagine. So the population of Haiti don't really trust this political class now, and we need a new political class with not corrupt politician. And we don't really think something would happen with this politician.
Okay.
They are the same from last 10 years to 20 years. It's exactly
the
same.
Jude, if they don't trust any of the could-be candidates in their political landscape right now, do they identify with the gang members? Because there are gang members out there, one in particular that's calling themselves vivre ensemble, like let's live together and we're working in the interest of the public. Do Haitians identify with those gangs in any way as an alternative?
No. It's not the alternative. It's not the alternative. What we need not, it's really to have a new political class. And I'm pretty sure most of the politicians are corrupt, but we are a few. We are a few political that can involve in the political decision in the country, and we have some good citizens too that can involve in the politics in Haiti, but they don't really create this space for other people, for young people, for new people. It's the situation. But for this class of politicians, I'm pretty sure most of Asians don't really trust them.
So you believe there are people there, but they're being held back. They're not being allowed to. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Let me come back to Christophe quickly, because there's another issue on the side there. You know, for those Haitians who have, you know, many are desperately trying to escape, and some have made it out. They've made it to the United States. They're trying to help their families back home in Haiti. But now we have President-elect Trump specifically honing in on Haitian migrants, saying that they're bringing crime and even eating animals to the United States. So what has that meant for those Haitians who have been able to get out and trying to seek safety elsewhere so that they can help Haitians back home? Has President-elect Trump done a lot of damage and potentially will do more damage to the Haitian diaspora abroad?
I hope not, but I also think that the most vulnerable remain in Haiti and they couldn't escape. So today we have very poor population who lost everything, who's been displaced 2, 3, 4 times sometimes because their houses were burned, and they are living in very bad condition. And the most vulnerable, once again, are paying the hard price. Regarding the politic and Mr. Trump election, honestly, we will see, but maybe we can give them a chance altogether and to see how it goes. I think, honestly, that, of course, if there is a politic decision, at least for health, they can help and they can support for the best of the civilians.
Okay. Kim, I'll come back to you. The UN representative in Haiti is now warning that the international community must either provide more support to Haiti or they will all pay the consequences. So what form of support, especially considering what you've identified as, you know, foreign interference, what kind of support is he talking about? What form should it take? And what are the consequences that he's also speaking about if it goes beyond Haiti's borders?
Well, for the first thing, let's transfer back to Haiti the billions, trillions of dollars that have been sucked from it over these centuries. We can go back 20 years to when Jean-Bertrand Aristide was asking France for reimbursement of the independence debt. This is the money Haiti had to pay to France for winning its independence. And they calculated it in 2003 at $21.7 billion. And that would now probably be double that today. So why not make a transfer?
Okay, but I mean, he's talking about support right now. What kind of support is needed?
That's right now.
So just financial?
They're sending the
just
support,
financial?
They're sending the support to the soldiers. They're sending in Kenyans who are renowned for their human rights abuses into Haiti, $600 million a year. Why not give the $600 million to the Haitian people to, you know, build the water system, to put in electricity? Why are we sending troops? This does not have a military solution. It is a humanitarian problem. The people need the basics of life. They need an infrastructure. And instead, we're sending in guns, and it's becoming just another boondoggle to support the military-industrial complex here in the U.S. and in France and Canada to the extent that it exists.
But how is that supposed to happen then? I mean, how are they supposed to, distribute that kind of funding with so much insecurity on the ground? Who's supposed to bring the security?
I don't think the SWIFT system has broken down in Haiti. They can get the money.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about distributing the funds on the ground with no security. Who's supposed to bring the security so that infrastructure can be built, people can be protected, Médecins Sans Frontières can start working again?
The leader of the Vivre Ensemble, Jimmy Cherizier, has said, let's talk, let's sit around the table, let's dialogue. They refuse that. If you're having no talk, if you're not talking to the people who are rising up, where are we going? I mean, it's like Ukraine, we're not going to talk, or Gaza, we're not going to talk. The U.S. is putting vetoes on that genocide. So, we have to, talking out of that. So we have to have a discussion with the people who are demanding a change.
Jude, are such talks what you'd like to see?
First of all, I will say let's start to stop the weapon and ammunition trade in Haiti. If we want to stop, we can support for the Haitian now. It's really to stop the weapon and ammunition gun, to execute their crime, their massacres. The gang needs weapons and ammunition. All reports indicate where the weapon and ammunition come from. We must start to stop the trade, and the international can help, can support on this manner. Reducing their capacity to cause harm would be a good start.
Okay.
To control them without provoking an armed conflict.
Okay, Jude, that will have to be the final word for this edition of the Newsmakers. I'd like to thank all three of you so much for being with us, and our viewers, of course, for joining us as well. Remember, you can follow us on X, and do be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Andrea Sankey. We'll see you next time.